What's up guys, Monka back with some more Genshin Impact, and today we are checking out a theory video that I am very excited about. It has to do with something that I've talked about multiple times when it comes to a big Genshin Impact cutscene in like Archon quests, and it is the simple reason why the Traveler uses the Dull Blade, the most overpowered weapon in all of Genshin. In all of Genshin, yes. Yes, it is very overpowered. So as always, we show support to the people who make these videos, so big shout out to that Historia. Be sure to hit them with a like, subscribe to their channel. Y'all already know the deal. Okay, the original link to this video will be in the description box below. And I think this is the first time we're checking out one of their theories, right? This has to be. That's the only reason I wouldn't be subscribed yet. So yeah, let's see why. Let's see.
The Traveler's original blade.
Intrigued by
this. Whereabouts are enshrouded in mystery, causing some to ask the question: if both Travelers were sealed by the Sustainer of Heavenly Principles, why is it that our Traveler lost their sword, and our Sibling still retains their own? Well, the answer to that question is actually quite a bit simpler than most realize, but the explanation is easy to overlook. In this video, I'm going to show the rather simple reason our Traveler lost their sword.
This is what I mean, he's using Dull Blade.
See it again in the future. But first, I'm currently striving to reach the goal of 150,000 subscribers. So, whether you're new to the channel, or you've watched lots of my videos but haven't subscribed yet, please support what I do by subscribing and help me beat the YouTube algorithm and reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers.
Gotta beat that YouTube algorithm, yeah, I feel you. There you have it.
A somewhat common topic of conversation regarding Genshin Impact's Travelers, whether it be a legitimate discussion, joke, meme, or anything else, is the Traveler's use of the Dull Blade. When at the start of the game, the Traveler summons this weapon, only for it to never appear again over the past 2 years. We're never really
I didn't even remember the fact that we had a different looking sword. What the my bad. Okay.
An explanation as to where it went, or why it was missing after our Traveler awakens following their encounter with the Sustainer. For a time,
watch him say something like, oh, he just dropped it.
Non-canon substitution, so as not to interfere with continuity, as our own playable Traveler would not be wielding this weapon when used actively by the player. This never really sat right with many, including myself, as the weapon the Traveler wields in cutscenes continues not to reflect the weapon that you as a player equip either, meaning the concept of equipped weapon continuity is somewhat out of the window. The real-world logistics of game development and story delivery then often enter the conversation, the assumption being that since action and battle sequences are pre-rendered, a less distinctive replacement sword would need to be utilized in order to minimize distraction and questions over why the Traveler never uses their original blade. Again, like with other arguments, this too is often a point of contention, because those scenes are pre-rendered. Why then change the sword in the first place, particularly when the Traveler often channels energy through the dull sword, giving a good opportunity for an open-ended return of the Outlander's original blade. With no conclusive statements or plot developments to lend to the sword's seemingly meaningless removal following the opening scene of the game, the conversation stopped for a while. Then, in version 1.4, we were treated to our first and only true face-to-face encounter with our Sibling thus far, a scene which opened
1.4. This was in 1.4. It's been that long. Damn. I didn't realize it had been that long, dude. Sheesh. Anyways, sorry, I had to stop for a second. Process that, dude. I did not remember Dainsleif doing all them flippy dippies that quick. Damn. And yep, there's Lumine's sword.
After this, it no longer seemed that the real-world pre-rendering explanation for the Traveler's missing sword was adequate enough to explain the missing Outlander's blade. Lumine still has hers, and certainly that detail would be too important to overlook for most players invested in the story. So, if hoyoverse never had intention of ensuring visual continuity on screen with our character's actual equipped weapon, then that means that the choice to relieve them of their original Outlander's blade was done intentionally. The weapon's exclusion, whether you're actively aware of it or not, creates a visual distinction between Aether and Lumine, making it seem as if she still has access to a power that Aether doesn't. And if that
that would make sense.
Why bother to change it at all? For the longest
I'm sure
time,
they didn't do that for no
that's
reason.
Where this entire discussion stopped for me, until some time ago a user on Twitter dropped an eagle-eyed catch on me that changed everything about how I
Okay.
considered this weapon's disappearance. In the
Was
opening
it at the
moments
bottom of the
Genshin
ocean, dude?
Impact, many of the game's mysteries are established, including the arrival and disappearance of the unknown god, the sealing and separation of our siblings by an apparent minimum of 500 years, and the use and loss of our traveler's original blade. With so much going on in the scene, it's easy to overlook the one simple detail that explains why our traveler today wields the dull blade. But rather than explain it, let me show you.
I swear, if he says, oh, he just dropped it.
There. Did you see it?
Oh,
It's a
she
blink
took
and you'll
it.
miss it moment.
Huh?
Once it's been pointed out to you, you'll never unsee it. After the Sustainer telegraphs her absorption attack, by looking at Aether, he simply releases his hands from the hilt of his blade, abandoning it to the Sustainer's power. If you look closely at the wide shot afterwards, you can see what appears to be the hilt of the blade protruding from the Sustainer's attack. The blade is then presumably absorbed along with his sister and has not been seen since. He
Right.
might be further excused for not realizing this occurred, as our traveler immediately lunges out with an impressive power attack resembling the length and color of the Outlander's blade. But it was on closer inspection an attack emanating from the traveler's hand and arm, rather than his now stolen blade. This also explains rather intuitively, after the Sustainer rewinds the explosive effect of the attack, why the traveler's weaponless hand was left bound, as it was never his blade which was the driving force behind that attack. After this,
Right.
it's history as usual. Our traveler was absorbed, leaving each of the twins to their own separate journeys. This realization then begs the question, if the sword was absorbed along with Lumine, what happened to it afterwards? The question conjures up a powerful scene of Lumine immediately following her disappearance, lying on the ground unconscious amongst the still fresh destruction of Conria. The muffled and distant sounds of crumbling structures seem to be drawing nearer, until at last she is awoken by the cataclysmic sounds. Her head slowly clears as she begins to regain clarity on what happened. Realizing where she is, she quickly gets to her feet, having no idea how much time has passed. Looking around, she hopes to find that her brother has also somehow miraculously avoided harm, but he's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
Then,
And she wouldn't see him for a long time after that.
Aether's sword lying nearby. Devastated and fearing the worst, she collects the blade, dwelling for a moment on the choices that led to this. Asking herself if it's all her fault. She wonders, if she had just left him sleeping in that meteor, might he have remained safe? Then the thought occurs, that he may too appear here just as she has. But the destruction is closing in around her. Frantically, she weighs her options. The safe route of escape is quickly diminishing, and she knows she can't stay there. She forces
So she
herself,
takes the
despite
blade
an overwhelming
and
desire
bounces.
to stay,
Yeah.
to run, and hope that his fate is not
Or
the
did she
same
not
as
even
hers.
take it?
Escaping the perils of the abyssal moonspire, back to the surface of Tavat. Her brother is gone. Donning masks, Conria's people are transformed into shameful shadows of their former selves. Lumine takes her leave of death and devastation, keeping her brother's blade safe in her possession as an added reminder of why she must fight
Okay,
against
yeah,
the
so she
thrones
has it, yeah.
of Celestia, not knowing whether she would ever see him again. If this is remotely close to the events that Lumine experienced after encountering the Sustainer, it is likely that Lumine still has Aether's blade.
I mean, it's logical. I believe it. I mean, I like the way that was done. This dude's very sophisticated, by the way. Very sophisticated with how he just did all that, but I would believe it. Yeah. That would make a lot of sense. It doesn't seem like any like copium hopium theory to me, to be honest with you.
Or perhaps she has laid it to rest somewhere after an unknown period of time as a memorial to her dear brother. And
Thinking
there
that he was
it still
gone.
lies, waiting for Aether to retrieve it. Or perhaps whatever power, if any, lies within the blade of our traveler was used to manifest a greater power within Lumine herself. It's possible that that may even be tied to why Aether lost his power, and Lumine appears to still retain her own, as the white light the two displayed in the game's opening scene still shines brightly upon her own garbs. For now, nothing is certain except that the sword was subtly taken out of play, intentionally, and it is likely that our traveler will cross paths with their lost blade once again.
I'm sure he's gonna get it
Possibly
back
with
at some point,
a
definitely.
portion of their lost power
I don't see why not.
return as well. That quick reaction of our traveler to abandon his blade has so much potential attached to it. Perhaps, if the traveler hadn't been so quick, the two siblings would have both been banished to the Abyssal Moonspire together, changing the entire history of Tevat in the process.
Yeah, well, that one little decision, right?
That's the point. Maybe our traveler's quick reaction was the 1 in a million shot that gave a higher power a path to end Tevat's never-ending cycle of death and rebirth. And potentially that is what caught the Sustainer off guard in her moment of triumph against the siblings. That's it for this video. What do you think of this
That was very good
catch that reveals our traveler's quick reaction to abandon his sword? Do you think things would have been very different if our traveler hadn't released the blade? Let me know.
Perhaps,
in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you are notified when my next video goes live. And if you want to see more, check out one of these other videos. Thanks for watching Tevat Historia. May the 7 guide you, travelers.
Yeah, I like the style of this dude's videos. Yeah, round of applause for you, my dude. That was good. That was very good. I must say, I was just trying to let a lot of that, like, did I hit the button again? My bad. I was just trying to let, like, everything just sink into my brain. But with what he was saying, it would make sense, you know? She woke up, she found the sword there, she took it with her. And then maybe, you know, she has it somewhere else right now. Maybe she buried it thinking, like, as in a memoriam, basically. Thinking that Aether was dead. I mean, obviously, like, for a while now, she's known that he wasn't dead. But there was a long period of time where I'm sure she thought that he was gone, you know? So, there is that. I don't know. I mean, you guys let me know what you think, though. You let me know. And I see they have other videos, obviously, of Shenhua, a heroine. Born. Okay, a heroine. Right? It's not It's not like heroin, not like the drug. Born of villain's origins. So, okay, that's something interesting to check out. 5 reasons why you don't understand Raiden A, and then Raiden Shogun completed story and origin. So yeah, we'll definitely check out another video from them at some point. But big shout out to them, to that Historia. But yeah. I mean, I'm sure Aether's gonna keep using that damn dull blade. He's gonna keep using that dull blade for a while, dude. But I'm gonna tell you this much. When he does get his sword back, and he will eventually, I know he will get that sword back, it's gonna be hype as hell. And you'll expect me to be there, because I will be playing that mission and that's in, and I'm gonna be freaking out. I mean, like, hey, the dull blade's gone. Because every damn time I see him in the cutscenes, I'm like, oh boy, he got the dull blade. You guys already know what's about to happen. He got whooped in that damn Shenhua freaking quest when he had that dull blade. My guy got slapped. And then obviously that's when Shenhua went like berserk and stuff. But anyways, yeah. Be sure to subscribe if you're new. Hit that like button. It's greatly appreciated. Same over to them over there, to that Historia. At the time of this recording, we're like 30 subscribers away from 4,000. So if you're able to help, it would help out very, very much. But until next time, I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Let me know what you thought about this video in the comment section down below. And as always, don't do crack.
Be sure to subscribe to the Special K Experience if you enjoyed this video. If not, you're going to Femboy IHOP.